Indicator 6 looks at educational environments for preschool students with IEPs. The priority for educational environments should be in the mainstream classroom with typically developing peers. However, there are times and situations where students may be receiving their education outside the regular classroom, such as a quiet space with no other students or a special education classroom with other special education students. There are also occasions where students may be placed outside of their community school and in a special purpose private school program. There are 3 groups for this indicator. 6A is the percent of children, ages 3 to 5, with IEPs attending a regular early childhood program and receiving the majority of special education in the regular program with typically developing peers. 6B is the percent of children attending a separate special education class, a separate school, or a residential facility. And 6C is the percentage of children who receive their special education and related services in the home. Indicator 6A is the percent who attend a regular early childhood program and receive most of their special education in that program with typically developing peers. The definition of a regular early childhood program is a program that includes a majority, at least 50%, of non-disabled children or children without IEPs. This may include, but is not limited to, the following: Head Start, preschool classes offered to an eligible pre-kindergarten population by the public school system, private preschools, or a group child development center or childcare. We see the percentages for this group of students from 2016 through last year. For this indicator, last year's percentage is considered a new baseline of 39.92%. The reason for the new baseline is that the indicator has changed to now include a section that looks at percentages of special education in the home. We see that the previous target was 53%, which is a bit higher than our new baseline, and a 1% change equates to about 24 students. We want to see this indicator increase in the years to come so that more students are educated and receive their special education in a regular early childhood program with typically developing peers rather than in a separate school or other environment. Our task is to decide if we want to keep this target the same or lower it to something closer to our new baseline. Indicator 6B is the percent of preschool children who receive their special education services in a separate education class, separate school, or residential facility. We want the percentage for 6B to be low because we want fewer students receiving their services in a separate class in schools. Instead, we want more of them attending regular programs and receiving the majority of their special education and related services in programs with their typically developing peers. We will want to see our target percentage decrease below the current baseline of 24.24%. Our task is to decide if we want to keep our target at 12.50% or below, or if we want our target to be higher, closer to, but still lower, than our current baseline of 24.24%. 6C is the percent of preschool children who receive their special education in the home. Like the previous 2 parts of this indicator, last year's percentage of 0.21% is considered the new baseline. This part is completely new, and therefore, there were no previous year targets set. We did calculate and are showing you the percentages of home services from those previous years for your reference. We want to see the percentage decrease with fewer students receiving their special education services in the home. Instead, we want more of them to attend a regular preschool program and receive the majority of their special education and related services in that program with typically developing peers. For this indicator, We want to see the percentage served in the home decrease below the current baseline of 0.21%. Because targets must be lower than the baseline percentage, we will have to decide how much lower below 0.21% and closer to zero our target percentage should be. Targets must be ambitious but achievable, and the final target at the end of the 6-year period must reflect an improvement over the actual data from the baseline. Our task is to determine the targets for all 3 parts of Indicator 6 for the next 6 years. We need your input and want to hear from you. Please complete the survey for Indicator 6.